So hello friends, in this video we'll see how we can send some data to the model pop-up from the first page, and when the model pop is closed, how we can get some data back to the first page from the model pop-up. It means first page you also send some data to the model pop-up, and model pop-up we also send some data to the first page. Basically model pop-up we send some data to the first page whenever I close the model pop-up, and whenever we try to open the model pop-up from the first page, it will model pop-up will receive some data from the first page when it opened, when it actually opened. So you can see on the browser a button is there. This is basically first page with a button, and there is open pop-up is written. So when I try to click this button, you can see alert is generated data from the first page. It means first page sends some data to the particular model pop-up, and this is id, this basically this data is received on the model pop-up and sent by the first page. So when I click ok, you can see this is the model pop-up, and when I close this model pop-up, you can see alert is generated data from the model pop-up. It means some data is sent back to the first page whenever we I close the model pop-up. So this is the basic app, and I will show you the code now, how we can achieve this inside ionic framework. So let's click ok first here, and now let's see, check the code first. So you can see there is two component, home and model. Home is basically the first page, and model is the model controller. So first let's check the home dot page dot ts file. It means we have to check first page code first. So inside this ts file, two things are imported here. First is model controller from @ionic slash angular, and absolutely this model page we retrieve here, because this model page is used as a model controller, so we have to access that particular model page inside first page. So we will use this latter model page inside this code, and you can see inside constructor we mention router and model controller here, model controller here. So and also there is method open pop-up, and inside open pop-up we have a create method of model with some properties, and there is a component, and we pass model page as the component. So it's clear here that the model page used as the model controller for the first page. And backdrop dismiss false means you can't close the model pop-up by clicking anywhere on the browser on the window. You can only close the model pop-up whenever the close function is called. And component props is basically whenever we send some data to the model controller, we will use component props here, and we send here the value id, this. So basically this is the property I used here to when I try to open model pop-up, and it does the promise, and inside promise we call the present method to open the model pop-up, and this present method with is open the model pop-up with these properties. And also inside promise I use a event handler. It means whenever model pop-up is closed, this code will be executed, and if there is any data sent back from the model controller to the first page, data it's showing as alert, it will show as alert here if any data is available. So this is the basic first page code, and absolutely I used a button here on HTML page to call the open pop-up method. This is the button basically. And now let's check model controller code, and this is the model controller code, and you can see inside the ts file basically I use import model controller here and nav params here. Nav params is basically used to retrieve the data from which sent by the first page on the model controller. So, and inside constructor I just mention model controller and nav params here. And next I used a page life cycle, ionic page life cycle method, ionic view did enter, and I show as a alert, uh, and alert is data from first page, and this dot nav dot get and value is the key which is used on the first page to bind the data. So this is the method to retrieve the data which if any sent by the first page on the model controller page. So whenever this model controller, as you already saw that whenever model controller is opened, the alert is generated, and this alert is here. And absolutely there is a close function, close method to close the model pop-up. And whenever this function is closed, this code is executed, this dot model dot dismiss. And whenever if we want to send some data, whenever model pop-up is closed, we pass as a parameter data to send back. This is the data to send back. Basically I'm using data now function here to bind some send back to the first page. So and when we see HTML page, you can see there is a icon, and above icon there is a buttons, and whenever this called clicked, close function is executed and the model pub is closed. So this is the basic code of first page and model controller page, and this is how it is working. So hope you like this. If you like this, please subscribe the channel, like the video. We'll back soon with some other interesting video also. Thank you. Thanks for the time.